Slovakia about that, Arkham. Right, now let me get some good bits out of this. Because it says, Americans, I have some bad news for you. Right, and this is from Dimitri, right? Some anonymous character, right? And he says, Americans, I have some bad news for you. You have the worst quality of life in the developed world by a wide margin. If you had any idea of how people really live in Western Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and many parts of Asia, so he's really talking about other white people, you'd be rioting in the streets calling for a better life. In fact, the average Australian or Singaporean taxi driver has a much better standard of living than the typical American white-collar worker. I know this because I am an American and I escaped from the prison you call home. I have lived all around the world in wealthy countries and poor ones, and there is only one country I would never consider living in again, the United States of America. The mere thought of it fills me with dread. And then he just goes on to just basically explain how fucked America is. And that's beautiful, man. Right? Jeremiah 51 and 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So everyone's seeing America's nothing but a pile of shit. Right? Not everyone. The world is seeing it. And they're phoning up their family members in America saying, what are you doing over there, man? Come back. Right? So this is a good article, man. Right? He breaks it down. Look, he even tells you there's no hope. Let me read this quick. He says, if there was some chance that the country could be changed, there might be reason for hope. But can you honestly look around and conclude that anything is going to change? Where would the change come from? The people? Take a good look at your compatriots. The working class in the United States has been brutally propagandized by jackals like Rush Limbaugh, Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity. Members of the working class have been taught to lick the boots of their masters and then bend over for another kick in the ass. This is the home of the slaves. They've got these people so well trained that they'll take up arms against the other half of the working class as soon as their masters give the word. So, man, everyone's seen, man. Your shame shall be seen. Now let's go to another thing. Right? And I wanted to get an example from the scriptures as well. I think it's from the book of Kings. Right? Because this is going into price inflation, man. Because there's no new thing on earth, man. Right? Second Kings 6 and 25. There's no new thing on earth, man. Right? Now it says here in this article from dailyreckoning.com, it says consumer price inflation, the wolf at the door. It says, I knew I was pretty sloshed when I started giggling about the perverse idiocy in which bankrupted governments wallow, as the Wall Street Journal had a nice headline that said it all. States raise payroll taxes to repay loans. I mean, what kind of crazy crap is it when the government is so desperate for money that it is raising the cost of hiring people at the same time as 10% unemployment has literally decimated the workforce? This is crazy. And as bad as it is being unemployed, this is at the same time that inflation is rising from the central banks of the world, continuing to create so much new money, such an avalanche of new money, such a tidal wave of new money, so that their respective governments can deficit spend it and provide bailouts to their various and sundry. Right? It says, oh, I've always had my fears about the inflation that comes from all this new money, and I knew that inflation will start showing up in a real life as well as in my nightmares, where prices are like ravenous wolves seeking to devour me, piece by piece, and while my neighbors are all around me being torn to pieces by the snarling rising price wolves, I am whacking them on the head with a bar of gold which gets bigger each time that a price wolf takes a bite out of my leg, so that when I hit the wolf with it. I hit him so hard my legs grow back. Amazing. So this guy thinks that gold is gonna save him. But the main thing is, let me get some of this. Let me get this bit. But Mr. Stepek is made of sterner stuff and calmly goes on to disguise the horror of, if you look at the breakdown of all the items included in the CPI, not a single item actually fell in price compared to this time last year. The inflation is of course at the worst possible time, as he explains. Commodity price inflation at a time when unemployment is relatively high is stagflationary, which is keenly felt in that your wages don't rise to accommodate your rising cost of living, which is a grim situation to be in. So basically they're telling you, man, prices are going to go to hell, and it's going to be worse than what they're saying. Second Kings chapter 6 from verse Salakia 25. 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 25. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and which that would represent the world today. And behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. So that's inflation, man. To the point where the shittiest things were like, you'd have to give up a fortune for it, man. A horse's head and thing. These people were paying for shit, eating it, and that's what's coming, man. And that's all I got to say on that. Little news on the World War III. Russia just keeps fulfilling the prophecy. That's how we know they're the bear. So, it says here in presstv.ir, Russia to US, Iran is no threat to Europe. Right? So they're telling the US, look, basically, don't attack Iran. Iran ain't no threat. They're threatening America. This came out from WikiLeaks. Right? It says a Russian Defense Ministry official rejected the reports of the existence of such a missile, which is the missiles they're saying that Iran could have to reach Europe, which he said were without reference to any reliable sources. He argued that there had never been a test of such a missile in either North Korea or Iran, and that the Russian government was unaware that the missile had ever been seen. Which, you know, they could have these missiles, who knows. The US side did not claim to have any hard evidence of the missile, but said the North Koreans had paraded the missile through the streets of Pyongyang. The Russians responded that the videos of the event showed a totally different missile. They also said that there was no evidence for the claims that 19 of these missiles had been transferred to Iran in 2005, and that it would have been impossible to hide such a cargo. So the Russians are defending the Iranians. Now let's get Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Now, that's talking about the Russians, because they represent that now. Well, this is who it was talking about anyway, because they live in the land of Magog and Gog. It says, And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and bring thee forth, and all thine army horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Right? Now that's talking about they're going to go back into that old Soviet spirit. Right? Now, there is reports of Russia placing... Let me see if I can get it, man, because I know I saw an article of Russia placing new nuclear armaments. Right, that was it. Right, a news article came out saying that Russia had basically moved nuclear weapons near to the NATO borders. And then Russia came out and denied it. But that's just fulfilling the prophecy we just read there. And it says Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, and the house of Togomar of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared. So Russia's been preparing. They done been releasing new submarines, all kind of madness. And prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. So who's the one that's giving the weapons that these guys are using are mostly Russian and Chinese weapons, which the Russians are the ones giving the Chinese the technology. Because them damn goots can't invent anything, right? Right? The Russians are the ones supplying the world with the Kalashnikovs, the S-300s, the S-300 technology. Because how do you think Iran got the technology to make their own version of the S-300? They had to have got that from the Russians. You see? So they sold them the ability to make it rather than to just sell them the straight weaponry, because they need them in this coming war. So it says, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And that's why Russia's always jumping to the defense of Iran. That's prophecy. I just bring out a little bit of information now, just for you two-thirds out there to get ready for this. This is the dailymail.co.uk. It says, no hiding place from new US Army rifles that use radio-controlled smart bullets. So they got a new weapon. Let me just read it. Weapon hailed as a game changer that can fire up and over barriers and down into trenches. Soldiers will start using them in Afghanistan later this month, which they're going to start using them in America, in the ghettos, in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, in London, you know, in East London, in Hackney. They're going to have these weapons, man. Right? And you niggas with your little 9mm, man, you ain't going to be able to deal with that. See, the elect, no weapon that is formed against us shall prosper. For the Most High is going to raise up the standard. He's going to give certain of us spiritual power to deal with this situation. And I pray I'm one of those men. But you two-thirds, you're going to get wiped out. Right? When the Esau's, not by the average everyday Edomite, but by Esau's mighty men, like his special forces, his super special forces, like we've got them super special guns. Right? Oh yeah, no. Gotta give the Most High a clap for this one. Yeah, all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for destroying the enemies. And I'm gonna finish on a psalm like that too. Right? This is from yahoo.com. It says 40 believed killed, which has gone up to 41 now anyway. 40 believed killed in huge Israel forest fire. Right? All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Amalek, you're going down. You don't belong in that land. The land's gonna spew you out. You're going into slavery. Right? You're going to bow down at the feet of the children of Israel, man. Read Revelations 3 and 9. Right? That's for you, Amalek. I ain't even going to read it for you. You go read it for yourself, man. You damn devils. That's your fucking future. You damn devils. You damn devils. Right? Oh, this was a beautiful one here. This is from apnews.myway.com. It says, unmanned US spacecraft returns after 7-month trip. 7-month trip where? The U.S. Air Force secrecy-shrouded X-37B unmanned spaceplane returned to Earth early Friday after more than 7 months in orbit on a classified mission. You know what they were doing? They were building up them laser weapons they got up there to fight the Lord. Right? They're building up laser weapons, man. That's what they be doing up there. Through the spirit, I know what they be doing, man. I know Esau, man. He's carnal. Right? Right? Revelations 12 and 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels, man. Right? That's it. That's all you need to know, man. That's what they're up there preparing for. They're up there building them space cannons, man. Right? Did I have anything? And with that, I'm gonna close up this news session. But I'm just gonna read one more scripture, man. Right. Right. Get a psalm.